All right, Robert Pantelimon from Blue Jays Center here with Blue Jays top prospect Ricky Tiedemann. Ricky, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you guys, appreciate it.
So we won't get off to start. You grew up in Southern California, I'm sure, middle of Dodgers country. You being left-handed, Clayton Kershaw, did he have any impact of your decision to pitch growing up?
Yeah, I mean, watching the Dodgers growing up, you can't help but watch him go out there every 5 days for like 20 years now, just putting his best outings out there. So that's somebody I try to emulate, and I love watching him pitch growing up. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So when did you know baseball was that? I'm sure every professional player growing up playing travel ball, you were the best on your team. But eventually, when did you know that, hey, I'm really good at this. This could be a career for me?
I think when I was little, I always wanted to play a sport, whether it be football or baseball. It kind of just gradually got there in high school. I think later in my junior, senior year of high school, I kind of started to tell that I maybe have a chance at it, and if I stuck with it and gave it my best shot, I would have an opportunity at some point, and it all worked out. So
yeah, definitely all worked out. When the Blue Jays drafted you, walk me through your draft day. What was it like?
It wasn't one of those draft days where you were certain about getting picked. It was kind of just on my toes about like who's gonna pick me. I haven't gotten any calls. Just talking to my advisor, seeing what he could do to negotiate, and it was kind of just like a last-second thing. They didn't call me or anybody. I think they spoke directly to my agent at that time. So it was pretty exciting, but definitely nerve-wracking.
What did you know about the Blue Jays organization once you got drafted? Was there much or?
Not much, not at all. Yeah, I mean, the year prior, coming out of high school, we were talking to them as well, but nothing too deep. I didn't really know too much about really any team at all. So nothing pro ball related that I really knew about.
Nice. So who was the best hitter you faced so far? Obviously, being in the minor leagues, a lot of guys come down for rehab assignments. Have you faced any big bats yet?
I think I've faced a lot of big bats, especially guys that are coming up, even guys that are already in the league, being able to face them during spring training. I think this past spring training I faced one of the better lineups in the league with the Phillies, and it was kind of their ace lineup. I mean, yeah, it was early in spring training, but being able to see those guys in the box for the first time was pretty exciting for me. So I'm definitely looking forward to many more of those with big bats in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure based on your prospect ranking, you'll be there in no time. What's your initial impression of Toronto? I'm sure you've probably been there a couple times now. Anything special so far you've seen?
I've actually haven't been there. When I got drafted, it was during COVID, so they didn't give us the opportunity to go out there and check anything out. So I still have yet to go out there, and every time I watch the team on TV, especially with like how the Rogers Center is looking now, just being able to see how it looks on TV, that just makes me really excited to get up there and see how the city reacts and how the city looks for me. So yeah.
So far early on to start this season, there's been a lot of talk about the elements of pitching in Buffalo, cold weather. You being a SoCal kid, how have you managed that so far?
Yeah, I mean, growing up, I definitely never played in this type of weather. It was always California, Arizona, Florida, all those hot states. So, and it was during the summer when I played there. So I'm coming here and starting off the year with 30-degree weather, snowing, stuff like that. It's definitely something to get used to, but you got to work through it just like anything else. So, I mean, it's pretty normal, but yeah, it's definitely not the best.
No, you'll be more than prepared for Toronto weather, though, especially with the dome now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you ever taken time to envision? I know right now you want to go start by start,
right.
But have you ever envisioned what that big league call-up is going to be and when you actually make your debut, that feeling?
I definitely don't envision the scenario of me getting called up, but definitely know that when the time comes, I'm going to be ready for it, and just it's going to be super exciting for me and my family and my loved ones around me to just finally see me be able to make it after so many years of just sacrificing your time to baseball. So it's definitely going to be special for me and my family. Yeah.
More of a fun question. Do you have any superstitions? I know ball players are very superstitious. Anything particular for you?
I think superstition and routine are kind of hand in hand for me. I think if my routine kind of gets screwed up, it can go with a superstition aspect of it. I didn't get this done today, so it's kind of iffy today. But also, you can't let that really dictate how things go. Things can happen throughout every outing and every game. So for me, it's more routine based. Yeah.
That's great. Whenever you're in an Uber, back of an Uber, a guy asks you what you do. What's your go-to response? You tell him you're a ball player, or you just try to play it off a bit?
When he asks me, I just usually it'll be in Florida. They'll be like, "What am I doing out here?" If I mention I'm from Cali, and I'll just be like, I'm out here playing ball, and then they kind of trickles more and more questions coming out, like, and then I have to break it to be like, yeah, I play professionally and stuff like that, and so yeah, it's pretty cool, but yeah, it always ends up there.
Awesome. Last question, Ricky. This is for the Blue Jays Center community. I'm sure all of our fans know exactly who you are. You're all over the prospect rankings, all over Blue Jays Twitter. What is one message you'd like to pass on to them?
One message. I mean, I think it's better for me to be with a big league team and relay that message to like the Canadian fans in Toronto. But I think just I'm looking forward to seeing all the fans, and if eventually I'll get up there, and hopefully it's going to be for good reason, and me impacting the team in a good way is kind of going to relate in those aspects to the fan base. So I'm excited about that.
I'm sure we can all relate, all Blue Jays Center fans, all the Blue Jays fans in general, how excited we are for you to make your much-anticipated debut. We wish you a great deal of success in your career. Thank you so much, Ricky.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Absolutely.